We're looking after the Brassicas today on Pots and Trowels, and that's brought to you with the support of Cobra Garden and King Seeds. Hello and welcome to Pots and Trowels. Well, we're in the veg garden today and we're going to be looking at the brassica bed and just looking how we can protect the plants from the cabbage white butterflies. But before that, just a quick recap on what's happening in the garden. Here we are now, it's the third week in May and the soil is really warming up. Having had a cold few weeks, when things slowed down, it's all starting to grow. We've got plenty of moisture in the soil as well, and things are putting on that spurt that we'd expect at this time of the year. So this is the onion and the legume bed. Garlic is doing well, although on this autumn planted garlic, we have got a bit of rust on there, which you get at this time of the year, but I think it's worse this year because it's been so wet. Fortunately, the new growth is nice and clean. So what I may do is actually, as the plants grow, just take a few of those leaves off. It doesn't tend to affect the bulb too much. Having said that, the elephant garlic on this row behind hasn't got any rust at all, which is interesting. This bed here, where we've got the asparagus, this was planted this time last year, so it's just had 1 year in the growth, and it takes a couple of seasons to establish, so we haven't cut anything, and the spears have pushed through and they've now turned into this tall frondy growth here that is going to look magnificent. It's 5 feet tall at least. So this will die down again in the autumn, and then next year we will get our first asparagus, so looking forward to that. Got a couple of courgettes in as well. They were just getting too big for the pot in the greenhouse, so got them under a little glass cloche just for that little bit of extra protection, because where we are in this part of Lincolnshire, it's not unusual to get a frost up until the end of May. Fingers crossed we won't, so another week or so I'll take that off and they should be absolutely fine. And we've got salads growing nicely and the beans are growing, so the whole garden is now putting on that spurt of growth. But this is the bed that we want to just have a quick chat about today, and this is our brassica bed. So this is where we've got all members of the cabbage family in here. So we've got I've got some summer cabbages planted out. I've got a purple sprouting broccoli called Tyrian, a new one to me, that crops later on in the summer. So that's going to be a summer form of it. We've got our flower sprouts in there because Jill prefers those to Brussels sprouts. And I've got others that I want to plant, but they're not sown yet. In fact, I've got the seed here that I will be sowing probably this afternoon in the greenhouse. I'll do it in one of the module trays, which is how these plants were all started off, in a bit of multi-purpose compost. And what I'm going to be sowing is I've got some cauliflower romanesco, which is one of the quite unusual looking ones. I've got some kale, I've got some winter purple sprouting broccoli, and I've also got a winter cabbage. Now you might think there's not room to put them in there. I've got another little plot where they're going to go as well, but what I'm trying to get across is there's still plenty of time to sow your winter brassicas now through May into June. So we've got plants to go out at the end of June, all summer to grow, and then we can harvest them through the winter. So make sure you get your seeds and get your seed sowing done as soon as possible. So what I've done is planted out here. They've been in a little while. They're nicely established there. When you're planting out your brassicas, put them in really firm. It's important that you firm the soil around them. They don't want to be loose. That way you get a much stronger plant. But the main curse that we get in the summer is the cabbage white butterfly, and they lay their eggs on the leaves of the brassicas. They're attracted by the scent of the leaf, and then you get hundreds and hundreds or thousands of caterpillars that munch away and completely ruin them. We don't spray anything at all in the garden that we eat, so we use butterfly netting, and a very simple way to do it is the way we've done it here. We just push in some bamboo canes into the ground, and then we put a pot topper on. We found these at the Harrogate Flower Show a few weeks ago, and these are really, really good little terracotta pot toppers, but you could use small plant pots or yogurt cartons, anything really. It's just to protect the netting, and then it's a case of draping the netting over like this. If I just get that there. Okay, so that's just going to sit on top of the pot toppers, and what we've got to do is make sure we seal it, because if you just leave it draped down like that, the butterflies, it's amazing how they can get in. And the other thing is, make sure you get a net that's got quite small holes in. Once before I've used fruit netting, which is slightly bigger because that's designed to keep the birds out and the butterflies can squeeze through it. So it has to be butterfly proof like that. And then just roll up the surplus And what I use are some tent pegs like that, and just push that down so that there is absolutely no gap where the pesky butterflies can get through. Now, there's loads of other things in the garden for the butterflies to go on and get nectar, so we're not depriving them of their food. We've got lots of verbena and summer flowering plants, so they're not going to go hungry, but I just don't want them feasting on my cabbages. So what I'll do, I'll work my way around, put that back so it's all in contact, and then I know that they're going to be protected. And when I need to go in there to do a little bit of weeding, I just take it up, push the hoe through it, put it down straight away, making sure I've not trapped anything in. Other than that, I don't really need to do anything. These have been in a couple of weeks now, the roots will have got down, there's moisture below, so they don't generally need much in the way of water. If we get a very hot, dry spell, I might just give them a little bit of water, but otherwise we can let them get on with it. And certainly with the cabbages, I would think in another 6 weeks' time, we'll be cutting wonderful heads of cabbage. So still time to sow your winter brassicas, and if you're planting out now, please, please do protect them from those cabbage white butterflies. Thank you for watching Pots and Trowels, and that's the brassicas all tucked up now. I don't want to be hanging around too long because we've got a family of great tits there in the old post box and they're busy feeding their young. But we will be back next week in the garden doing more jobs, so we'll see you then. Bye.